Peace to the family. Peace to the family. Hold on, let me bring in the legend real quick.
My
All right.
guy,
Oh, there you go. There you go.
what's up?
Blessings. How are you?
I can't complain. How you?
Man, I'm blessed to be with one of the top creators on the planet
No,
Earth. So, I must be doing some good things in life to be thriving this far.
don't do that. Don't do that. Where you going? You're always on the move. Where you going?
Oh man, I'm in LA right now, man. I'm having a business lunch. I'm not eating, but you know what I'm saying? We
No, I was about to
talking
say.
about some major things.
I didn't think you were eating.
But
That's
he
weird.
he eating, you know what I'm saying, in front of me, but I'm not.
That's fair. That's fair. What we talking
uh,
about? What we doing?
I want to talk about, rules for creators
Hmm.
and this changing, ever changing landscape that we in right now. I actually seen you talk about something that I think resonates, right?
Okay.
I think primarily what a lot of people feeling is burnout. Um, there's a lot of burnout going on, right?
Hmm.
And it can be very dangerous, especially in a space where you give so much passion for and you give so much time and you give so much energy. And in order to maintain that, you have to just keep going forever,
Yeah.
right? And never stop. And it's like at some point in time, there has to be another level. There has to be an exit. There has to be, and the way I kind of put it is like you get to a point where you build a machine
Yeah.
and your mind built the machine and you're happy, you're successful about the thing that you built, and now you have to spend all your time in the machine,
Yes.
right? Instead of realizing the success wasn't the machine you built, the success was the mind that you built that created the machine.
Process.
So
Yep.
now you get to go back to saying, wait a minute, I need to spend less time on the machine and more time back on myself,
Hmm.
which was my initial
Hmm.
success. And a lot of people can't make that transition to say, okay, well, how do I do that if the machine needs me so much?
Yeah. That's why we're seeing a lot of call me. But it like the common thread on YouTube right now is like I quit. Right? Everybody
Hmm.
like the top creators are starting to quit just because and one of the creators said it so well. It was like even though this is a dream job, it's still a job. Right? And
Yeah.
majority of creators have this whole like we love to create, we love the building process, right? But then once it's built, we on to the next thing and we don't like the maintaining part. Once the maintaining part comes in, then it's like, I gotta post every single day. Okay,
Yeah.
I got all these followers. Okay, I gotta really talk. I gotta email these brands. I gotta do all these different things, and so it's really about finding the love in it, in that maintaining part, and that's what most creators have a hard time doing is finding the process of falling in love with the maintaining of it. And that I struggled with it plenty of times because I'm not trying to answer emails. Okay, I give it to my assistant. Great. And
Right.
then some other task is okay, I give it to this person, I give it to that person, to where it almost feels as if some of us just lose that heart of it. And so we try to gain it back. So it's finding that happy medium of understanding when we fall in love with something and we put it out there and we really want to make this into something, it becomes a business.
Yeah.
And we weren't necessarily prepared for that. So now we have to make it a creative, fun part of this business. So that's
Right.
where that's the problem with that.
Yeah. And, that's where being in this time and space right now, kind of teaching people about, automating more of your skills so that you have more time to yourself. Like the amount of time that I would have spent editing things, of course, I then would allocate that to a team member
Mhm.
now, right? But there's still so many things that I have to do myself
Yeah.
because unless you have to clone your skills in someone else,
Hmm.
right? Otherwise, you still have to do it to maintain,
Hmm.
right? And there's a certain amount of rest and there's certain things that you have to do once you start gaining success, and they're more prevalent and more necessary the more success you gain,
Yep.
right? In order to be able to stay consistent on this journey and to have growth and to have skill. And most people want to be high level achievers,
Yes.
but that requires a certain formulaic balance,
Yes.
right? And so that's why anytime I teach technology, we first start with like the mind,
Hmm.
right? Which is the first technology you learn how to utilize correctly, and everything else is just an extension or an enhancement and an effect of how you operate. So it's like during this time, the goal is to, yes, let's automate some of those skills that we do out of necessity,
Yeah.
but not out of love,
Yeah.
right? The building of the ideas out of the love. The process is out of necessity.
That's a
So
fact.
automating the process frees you up to do what you love.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Like, the I love the creating part, the posting and the tedious parts. So I love that you have Taja in there, because it's like, for instance, with YouTube, I love to create the videos. I can't stand the description. I can't stand coming up with the timestamps. I don't care for
Yeah.
the cue. I don't care for none of that. And then so we look at the technology of looking at it on a, okay, what could relieve me of that, because that's going to eventually add time and stress to me that I don't necessarily care for, right? What AI is there that not necessarily is going to replace it, because I ain't gonna lie, some of these AI titles are trash. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie
for
about that,
sure.
right? Some of these descriptions don't even sound like nothing I would ever say, right? But it's a good foundation for me to go, okay, let me just change up this kind of word, let me change this part up. Cool. The things that I necessarily don't care for, like the timestamps, leave it as that, because I'm not,
Hmm.
I don't care for
Yeah,
it, right? But
that
the
that
description,
should
yeah,
be automated.
yeah.
That's
And
not
and
it's not a
it gets there.
creative endeavor anyway.
No, and if it gets it a little bit wrong, it gets it a little bit wrong.
Right.
It's better than the zero thing that I was going to do with it. I was going to
Right.
post the video, right? Post the video. It could have been an hour-long video. You would get no timestamps. You get
Yeah.
nothing. You just got to watch that all the way through. So I look at technology when it comes to that, of like, it creates a great experience for the the consumer, the audience, but as well as relieve stress for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, there's still stuff that I do. Like, I'm now creating all my thumbnails for high level, right? So all the thumbnails, I'm personally like designing, creating them. Then I got to create all of the titles. I want to allocate that to somebody else, but even in that process, it's like, so when you say the AI is not perfect, it's the
Yeah,
same thing if you hire somebody.
right.
You still have to go to iterations,
Huh.
train them up. I don't like
Huh.
this. Nah, you didn't do it like I would do it. So having this expectation that somehow AI is going to be perfect is like having the expectation that somebody you hire is going to be perfect.
Fact.
It's the same exact thing. There's a training process that goes into it. But once it gets into that flow and it's on that range of, okay, this is getting better through every iteration. Now you have that skill set that can be automated. But training an employee usually gonna take you first 3 months to get them acclimated to the
And
processes
it
within a job.
still won't be in the way
Yeah,
that you really thought it was. You had a great
exactly.
job description. You thought that, and they have the potential, and you can see it's going to probably take them way longer. It's the same thing with AI. You train that thing up, and it's way better than it was in the beginning, but
Right,
it probably got 2-3 more years of on the
right,
job training
right.
for it to be like like when we look at HeyGen, right? And it does the whole clone of you, right? Way better than what it was doing before,
Yeah,
right? But it's still, you can see the glitches. You can see I'm looking this way when I should be looking that way. But give it another year or two, what? I don't gotta create videos after a while. I could just get that. The voices are getting better, everything in that kind of context, and it gets easier for us, but it's not there.
right.
It's just not there. But the more that we educate ourselves on it, when it is there, who's going to use it first? The ones who's been educated on it, not
Right.
the ones that are going to just trying to figure it out, and then they're scared, and then
Yeah,
they're
it's
just
like
okay.
artists who embrace graphic design tools early
Yes.
on when at first all of it was hand drawn,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that early embrace allowed them to master the skills of where things were going because each one of these things are just tools that you use, right, to get
Mm-hmm.
your process done,
Yep.
right? For your ideas in your head and whatever you can utilize, because I use VizCom a lot because I was designing some glasses and I needed to create a 3D prototype of it.
Yeah.
And I have an idea in my head. So being able to create a quick sketch, get a reference photo, right? And then go through a process of getting almost to exact to T the way it looked like in my mind. That's a completely different process than let me go hire an industrial designer. They go charge me $3,000,
Facts.
right? Then they tell me, well, look, this typically takes 2 weeks because I got clients. Then when they give me the first iteration, I don't like it. Now I got to learn how to communicate exactly what I want based on understanding them. That's another couple of weeks till we finally get it. Then I'm going to send that off to whoever is going to create it for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they need a perfect 3D replication of it. Otherwise, they're going to get so many things wrong. So what you're doing is the human aspect is the idea
Yep.
to creation,
Yep.
but we get caught up in being, we as human beings become AI,
Yes.
right? We just start doing these habits and processes. We're not really thinking,
Mm.
right? And so people are afraid of being replaced because they're operating like AI already, right? As a
Mm.
thinker, I'm not afraid of being replaced because my job is creative thinking. My
Right.
job is human thinking. My job is foresight, observation, project management, right? Storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
narration. Like it's not, I don't have AI processes within my value.
Yes.
So there's no fear of being replaced when your thing is human.
Right.
But when you're doing machine operation day to day and you are just somebody on an assembly line
Mm-hmm.
because there's not a technology that makes that process more efficient,
Yeah.
then you should be replaced so you can do something more human with your time.
Yes. So there was a lot of backlash. I don't know if you saw it. Under Armour made a AI commercial of
Mhm.
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
Like it was amazing.
yeah,
But everybody was like, yo, if my man is still alive, like he should be able to do it. He should be doing these different stunts. I'm like, did y'all see the commercial? Like
right.
they had him in space. The voiceover was
Yeah,
great. It's like what I look at it is more of this is allowing us to have the tools to be the producers that we had in our head but didn't have the resources,
hmm,
right? And so and because I work with a lot of creators who do have that scare of being replaced, right? So shout out to all my graphic designers that are cursing out AI, right? That is just like, how dare they? They're stealing it, they're doing this. And I'm like, have you at least spent about like 20 minutes with it
right.
and realized how your designs can level up or save you time with your certain designs that it's already sketched out that all you have to do is now add your twist to it? Like, are you looking at it in a in just kind of like a simple way, or are you looking at it as in a money and scale way?
Yeah. I think there a lot of people are operating from a fearful place of inadequacy,
Mm-hmm.
and you get people that start to become these so-called purists in the way that they're doing things now,
Yeah.
right? And like when you go back to artists always evolve based on the tool that they have access to now, right? So if you go back to Leonardo da Vinci, he only had certain tools, so he created with those tools,
Yep.
right? And then you go from having clay, which you see early people, they paint on the walls utilizing clay. Then people create tools so they can start creating sculptures.
Yep.
Then we got paintbrushes, right? So now we start doing these paintings. Then you have techniques that you learn. So you get all these different styles, impressionist and
Mm-hmm.
abstract, right? And then we get computers and technology. So now instead of you having people who can create perfect characters and calligraphy that can be the only ones that do the posters and graphic design, then you get graphic design error, which is just another tool that you have to learn how to interface with. And if
Facts.
you're not good at utilizing that tool, does that mean that you shouldn't make art? No, because you have ideas for art that you can't get, and or because you don't have the money to pay a graphic designer, does that mean that your business shouldn't have the art that should complement your advertisement, your design, your
Yeah.
aesthetic? No. So I think what it's doing is creating a more democratized and equalized environment to where as a human,
Mm-hmm.
you are not limited to what your capabilities are, skill sets, education, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have the idea, then you should be able to get it done, and it shouldn't be based on your access to a higher level creator or designer, right? Because most design
Facts.
sucks across the field, across the world, because we don't have access to better designers. And who can pay the best designers in the world is corporations. So they have a higher edge on the average person. So I believe that this is a good thing if depending on how you look at it. A
Yeah.
tool is only as good as the person utilizing it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you can decide what a tool is. So if we replace the word AI, which people only have this negative affinity towards because of the branding and marketing connected it
Yep.
to it, so I call them tools.
Right.
There's nothing negative associated with the tool because a tool is supposed to be used in the hands of an artist whichever way you decide to use it.
Yeah, and